Good afternoon, it's Tuesday the 25th of July. It's a nice sunny day. I am currently travelling, so it's the perfect time to jump on and do one of these car talks. But welcome to episode 9 of the Man Up podcast. After this week, we've got a couple of weeks of guests, so I'll tell you about them at the end. I apologise, it's been about 4 weeks since the last one, a lot of stuff happening. But also I took 10 days off and went on holiday, which is unusual, not like me. Just returned from Hisaranu in Turkey. Absolutely fantastic place. Would definitely recommend going. Definitely look to go again very, very soon. Great food, great people, just an outstanding. And it was really good. I literally this time, for the first time in about 10 years, and it goes on to 10, 15 years I think it is, I literally did no work. I literally turned my emails off. I didn't answer an email. I just literally just chilled with loved ones for 10 days, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I feel so much better for it. I'm so relaxed and so freaking energized to come back and crack on with the summer and the rest of the year now, which is great. So I would definitely be doing something like that again, taking time out. And I've always been someone that's worked while I've been on holiday, or worked while I've been away, or never really done much else. But 100% would recommend it to anybody that normally does it. Just take some time out. Just take some time out, definitely. Today, then, we're going to talk about a few things. One thing I'm going to talk about is the F word. We're going to have a good conversation about that. I'm also going to talk about being present, because this holiday's taught me one thing, and it's I'm not present enough for anybody. I work too much, and then we're just going to see where it takes us, if that's okay. So let's get into it. Let's dig in deep. We've got a lot of people come back to us with questions as well, so try and answer as many of them as possible. So the first one is obviously the F word, and not what you think. I'm all about fear. We all live in fear of something, which is a tough one, because we're all afraid of something. I always say to everybody, including my kids, nothing scares me. I'm not afraid of anything. But that's not really true, is it? Because everybody's, we think fear of being scared is like a shock or horror, being scared of being murdered, being scared of wasps, being scared of spiders. But we're all fearful of failure, I think. And we're all scared of taking that leap. But what I've really learned over the last couple of years, COVID obviously taught us, but what else I've learned is, fear is a hindrance, but it can also be a help. If we take the energy we feel with that fear and we take it for positive, then we could do so much of it. Now, that could be that you're in a job you hate, so you want to fear that. You fear to leave it. Don't want to leave it. Well, what if the grass is not always greener? Ooh, what if I can't find a job with more money? Relationships. Sometimes we're in relationships and you're thinking, it works. What if I'm on my own? What if I don't find anybody else? All that sort of stuff. And when we stay places and relationships and work, and we stay friends with people. Oh, I gotta be friends with them, or my mum will kick off because my mum's friends with their mum, and all that sort of stuff. And we live our life in this bubble of worrying and fearful of upsetting other people. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. For your mental health and your state of mind, I'm going to say this: bollocks to everybody else. Because yes, we got to be respectful, and yes, we got to compromise, but live it. Don't be afraid to make a change, because guess what, guys? You only live once. And guess what? You're not going to think on your deathbed, I'm so glad I stayed there, because it was comfortable. It was good. I was settled there. No, you're going to think, oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did that. You know what I mean? I wish I'd take a chance on that relationship and left this one. I wish I took a chance on that job or that business venture. Don't get me wrong, we all do it. I live in fear, but I love a risk, so I'll take risks. Bet the next one. I'll invest in something with minimal information if I got passion for it. I'll set a business up with somebody without even doing it, just because I like a risk. But even myself, that F word, that fear word that we all live in, you know. And then we overthink things. Perfect. My youngest boy came to me the other day. I was laid on the sofa. He came and stood next to me, and he went to me, "Dad, I've been really scared of something lately." And I was like, "What's that, boy?" "Wasps." "Why? Why are you scared of wasps?" "Well, because they can sting you." And then he made the biggest mistake in the world, and he goes and bloody Googles wasps. But he's 10, so he's at that age where he's starting to overthink things. A couple of months back, you know, we went to a Jack the Ripper escape room. It wasn't scary. It was for 10-year-olds up. But then about 3 months later, he starts worrying about what if you get murdered, Dad? What if Mommy gets murdered? What if someone comes for me? And you know, he overthinks, and that fear stifles in them because he gets upset and he panics. And you know what? It's really funny because I go back and I'm like, that was me at his age. At his age, my biggest fear in my world was dying. I was 10 and I was worried about dying. You know, what if my mum dies? What if my sister dies? What if I die? And that fear consumed me for so long, like it does him. And I just think that we get so het up with being fearful and scared of stuff that we don't take the chances and the risks to make us happy. Screw fear, be happy. Do the stuff that makes you happy, not the stuff that makes you scared. Now, take some of that fear and run with it, 100%. And I'm not saying go out there and challenge a knife wielding maniac if you had a knife, because don't be scared, that's not it. But the stuff that ties you down, that really wrenches your gut and gets to you in your chest, and you really like a sort of anxiety, because a lot of our mental health issues come from the fact that we're fearful of stuff. Now, as an overthinker, I'm a massive overthinker, you will fear stuff. You will fear stuff, and you will worry about stuff before it's even happened. But then all you do then is you don't enjoy this time that you have now. You don't enjoy being present and being your now because you're fearful of the what ifs. What if I take that job and I don't like it? What if I'm in a relationship and everybody hates me for it? What if I don't want to go to that night out? What if? I had it in Turkey, right? So I was in Turkey, Hisarano, as I just said. And I really thought about, I had a lot to drink while I was out there. I know, shock horror. But then one day I woke up on the Friday morning. We will come back on the Saturday. And I sat there, sat by the pool, 50 degrees in the shade, absolutely boiling. But I sat there and I thought, I don't want to drink anymore. But the first thing I thought is, what's people going to think? I'm going to see the rugby in August. And what if they think I'm weird because I don't want to drink? Oh, I'm going away for a festival. What if they think I'm weird because I don't want to drink? What if they don't think I'm social because I don't drink? What if people think I'm being weird and condescending because I don't want to drink? What if they think I'm being, judgmental because I don't want to drink? And I had all these thoughts going through my head. I'm thinking, hang on a minute, screw that, you don't want to drink anymore. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be teetotal for the rest of my life, for crying out loud. I'm 38 years of age. I know I look about 50, but I'm 38, nearly 37. But in my head, I'm like, I don't want to drink anymore. I don't fancy the taste anymore. I don't like the feeling it has. I'm not sleeping very well because of it. My belly, I got a pretty big belly, as most of you'll know, but it can't be food. So I sat there and I contemplated, and I was like, okay, let me forget about everything else. Let me think about it realistically, okay? I know my weight is not food because I probably eat less than 1,000 calories a day, right, on average, okay? So it's got to be alcohol. So I run the numbers. Run the numbers on my phone, the calculator. The average bottle of beer is about 181 calories, okay? I drink on average, I don't know, 2, maybe 4 times a week. On a good session, 10 to 15 pints. On just a couple of pints, it's like 6 to 8. You run that's nearly 5,500 calories a week. You times on average 8 to 9, so you're averaging out, times that by per session 4, times that by 5,500 calories. So I'm putting into my body. That's making me lethargic. It's making me tired. That's giving me a massive belly. It's making me bloated. Making me not want to get up and train in the gym. taking some of my time because I'm feeling all that, so I'm not putting the best into my time. 5,500 calories in alcohol. Shocking, right? Absolutely shocking. So what I've decided is I'm going to give it up, and I'm going to give it up for a month, and I'm going to see how I feel. If I want to go to the rugby and I don't want to drink, I'll drink water. I'll drink lemonade and lime. But right here, right now, I am off the booze. I am not interested in it. And do you know what? It's probably so much better for my mental health. Because, and another reason for it, I don't like who I am when I'm going to drink. 90% of the time, I'm the most fun-loving, carefree guy ever. But then when I get into an argument with somebody, I just don't let go, and that's not the person I am. I don't like it. So yeah, but that fear factor, I feared and I worried about what everybody else was thinking about why I was giving up the drink. And then in the end I was like, screw this, it's my body, it's my life. So we'll see how it goes. But you guys got to stop. You got to take that fear, you got to ball it up, and you got to throw it as far away as you can, because guess what? The only thing that matters is your happiness, your mental health, and you're the way you are. So screw fear, screw the F word, and send it packing. Because it's not worth it. Being afraid to take that next step in your life is just holding you back, and you'll get nowhere with it. Got quite passionate then, didn't I? Next part I want to talk about. So we talked about fear. And I was going to talk about some other things, right? So the other thing is being present. So there's a great book called The Present, which is fantastic. It's written by the same person as Who Moved My Cheese. I'll add the link somewhere. It's a fantastic book, and I haven't read it for a while. But I was listening to a podcast. I do a lot of that when I'm driving. But it was Gary Neville speaking to Steve Bartlett. And he talked about how he's always on the go, he's always busy, he lives by his calendar. And I was relating, because I do the same. I live by my calendar, so everything in my life is programmed, really, timed. And how he wishes he's a bit present. And I thought of my life, and I thought, in none of my relationship have I really been present, because I've always worked. I'm a self-obsessed workaholic, and it's a big part of my life, and I am trying to get better, and I am failing. But I just did take 10 days out, which is good. But my kids I'm not always present with my kids either, and I worship them. I consider myself a good dad, I adore them, but I just, sometimes, I've had people say to me, in the past and now, you're here but you're not really here. You're in the room but you're not here. I'm talking to you and you're not listening. I'm talking to you and you're on the phone. You're in the room, the TV's on, we're spending time together, but you're not here, you're elsewhere. And they're right, because sometimes I'll be watching something on TV, which I don't do a lot actually, and then my head's somewhere else. What we're going to do tomorrow? It's in my head now. Well, let me just send that quick WhatsApp. Let me just do this sometime. So I'm going to limit my WhatsApps. I don't like WhatsApp. I'm just about to instill a culture into my company as well, because not my company, the holiday park I'm working at. I'm supporting a culture of, we tend to do everything via WhatsApp. The pool, this is not open today, can you let people know via WhatsApp? And it's all like a 2-3 minute walking distance. So what I'm going to start to instill in there is no more WhatsApp, no more Snapchat, no more text messaging. Speak to me. If you want me urgently, call me. If you want a quick answer, call me. If you want an answer now, call me. Don't WhatsApp me, call me. If it can wait and you don't mind, then fine. But if you need to go and tell this department something about that department, don't put in a bloody email, don't put in a bloody WhatsApp message, go over and speak to them. Hi, just to let you know this. Because we are far too easy to hide behind messages, and it's embarrassing is probably the right answer. Absolutely embarrassing. So that's what, yeah. Try and be more present. So I tend to now go home and I'll take this off, because this is a bane of my people around me's life. If I'm in a meeting, it goes off. So I'll try and go home. I'll try and I'll take this off. I'll put it on charge. I won't have it when I'm in the house. If I'm in a meeting, I'm going to start taking it off, so my focus on the meeting. I'm going to turn the notifications off. I didn't delete my email when I was away, but I turned the notifications off so they didn't come through, so I didn't know they were there. So I'll go to the email rather than the email come to me. That I'm going to keep going. I think keep that going, because I don't, you know, I'll figure in my day when I'm going to do emails. I'll figure in when I'll respond, and if it's important, they wouldn't have sent me an email, they would have rung me. So I'm gonna have an out and offers on saying I sporadically check my emails for the day. If your email is great importance, because I like to spend a lot of time in park, I like to spend a lot of time with people, can you please email me? Can you please call me? And I'll my number's on the bottom. So that's another thing. So there's a lot of stuff there that you can do to be present, but you know, just having that time when you're with that person and nothing else matters. And I struggle with it massively. And I get coaching. I get coaching from somebody else. So I really struggle with that. So that's a key thing for me, you know, because being present to somebody means more than any sort of money, gifts, anything else. Listen to them. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what's important to them. Because if you don't, then we have a serious issue. And you'll have a serious issue in your relationships, whether it's with your partners, your work colleagues, or whether it's with anybody else. So, you know, that being present is key, because, you know, being there and being present is two different things. Check out the book, it's fantastic. Yeah, that's another thing which is good. And you know, it's nothing wrong with scheduling your time. I schedule everything, but schedule time and put that time in place. Like I know between 5:15 and 6:15 today, it's football time with me and my boy. So we'll go to the park, we'll put some of my trainers on, we'll have a kick about. You know what I mean? He'll run me ragged, but he gets that hour with me. It's just me and him time. Do you know what I mean? Which is ideal, which is, you know, you'll absolutely fantastically adore. So yeah, that's be present then. The other thing I want to talk about is, why is it that if you're successful, you're either a snob or you've lost your roots? Or I have this a lot of family sometimes. You know, I come from a working class background. You know, my mum worked hard, my dad worked hard. You know, we didn't have a lot growing up really. You know, she did the best they could. You know, we had a couple of times where we were kicked out of our house. You're always chasing debt, getting people knocking the door. And I just turned on and said to myself one day, I'm never working for my next paycheck. I want to be successful, I want to be happy. So that, you know, and I was always a Labour supporter. So if you want to bring the politics to it, you know, Labour, I was always brought up to be leaving Labour because they're working class, and you know, it's the working class man. And then as I got older, started being successful, and sometimes I've always worked. I've never not worked since probably the age of 12. Listen to episode 2, I think it is, of the podcast, and tell you a bit about what I did. So I've always worked. I never not worked. And then, you know, I've done multiple business ventures and everything else. But then I started getting successful, and I started looking into politics a bit more, and I get trolled for this a lot actually. I'm looking at Labour going, I don't actually believe in any of their values. Now, when Tony Blair was in charge, loved them, Gordon Brown was good, even Ed Miliband knew what he was doing, and then they bring Jeremy Corbyn in, who doesn't have a bloody clue. You know, then Keir Starmer, you know, these guys are so idiotic, I just don't get it, right? So I decide myself that I was going to vote somewhere else. I won't say where, but I voted somewhere else. I will actually say where. I got nothing to hide with it. Anyway, I voted Conservative. You know, I wasn't a massive fan of Boris Johnson, but you know, he does a decent job. I thought he handled COVID pretty well. It's going to be controversial, I know. Rishi Sunak, I thought was brilliant as a chancellor. I looked at the facts in their manifestos. I looked at everything and thought you know, I was a member of the Labour Party. I paid membership. I helped run, you know, events and council, and I did all that. And then they put Jeremy Corbyn in charge, and they changed everything, right? So I looked at all the facts, and the Conservative Party was the best party for me at the time, so I voted for them. You know, it was the best party for my family, right? My family, the way my family worked, the way everything that was better for me, right? That's what it was. When the word got out that I hadn't voted Labour, oh my God, I got some shit. You forgot your roots, you're turning into a snob, you don't know, you forget where you come from. And I'm like, are you taking the piss? because I want to do the best for my family, and I want to give my kids the best, and I want to do the best. And that's not why I voted Conservative, because it suited my family dynamic, right? But just in general, I don't visit where I grew up. I don't go there very often. I go and visit my mum probably once every 2 weeks. I try and get there every week, but if not every 2 weeks, visit my mum. My sister comes and visits me. I don't go back to where I grew up. I don't like the area. I think the area is a shithole, right? So, there's drugs, there's violence. I don't get that everywhere, but I don't like the area. I like the peaceful life. I moved away for a reason. I moved away to make myself a better life. I don't go back very often. But then I get people call me out. You think you're something special. You think you are better than us around you. It's not that. It's not that. It's just I don't like the area. My own dad calls me out and says, you never contact me anymore. Well, because when I did contact him, he wanted me to sit in the pub with my kids to visit him. Well, he drives. Why can't he come and visit me? I love him to bits. I do, and I'll always fucking respect him. But I'm like, you want to see your grandkids? I bring my kids up differently to the way I was brought up. As in, my kids are not, probably to my detriment, 2 out of 4 of my kids are not street smart. One's a baby, so she doesn't get it. The other 2 young ones, they're not street smart. I don't think they'd survive where I grew up in, because I've sheltered them from it, because that's my job as a dad, and because I want them to have a better life, and I don't want them to have to fight on the street, and I don't want them to have to drag themselves up, and I don't want them to have to be street smart and worry about, is he carrying a knife like I did when I grew up. I want them to think with their minds, not their hands. I fought with my hands a lot of the time. I don't want that for my kids. Do you know what I mean? I had to be tough. I watched my older sister when we were living in Cambridge. I think I was about 6 or 7. She was walking us home from school, and I watched a lot of English kids absolutely batter her just because she's Welsh. I don't want that for my kids. But I get ridiculed for it. I get called out by people that were my friends, some of my family, that I've lost my place and I've lost where I come from because I want a better life, because I run multiple businesses, because I do loads of stuff. Since when did becoming successful become a crime? Since when is wanting to do the best for your family wrong? I am sick to death of bitter people wanting to pull you down because you're successful. And I'm saying to you guys now, if you have people like that in your life, they're not family, they're not friends, get rid. Because everybody is in charge of their own destiny. I decide how successful I am. I decide how happy I am. Yes, I'll have a blip. Yes, I'll feel like shit sometimes, but I'll decide it like you guys will. And I'm sick. And I tell you what I've done, another thing I've started doing, and this is from a Stephen Bartlett thing to help with this, is I started getting rid of all the negative crap out of my life and off my social media. I'm now only following people that bring positivity to my life. So when I'm scrolling, when I'm going down stuff, I am looking at the positive things. I'm not looking at the negative stuff. I'm not looking at people slagging somebody else off. I'm not looking at somebody tearing somebody down because they're in a bad way or they've done well. I'm looking at the positive things from my life. Because do you know what? They say you become what you surround yourself with. And the 5th person is normally what you become. I only want to surround myself with positive people. And if people don't want to get on board and be positive and take the things forward, I'm not interested in them in my life. You either step on board and you become part of the positivity train, or you disappear. Because I am too old and I am too past caring to be anywhere else now. Be the person that you want your kids to be. I want my kids to be able to just look at me and go, my dad worked hard, he tried his best, and he gave us everything he could. But he also showed us that be nice, kind, and positive to people. No, I get slated for this video. I know I will. I got slated the other week when I did a Be Kind bite-sized coaching, and they said, who's going to take advice off you, you big fat git? Oh, you fat stinking mother. People need to give you that abuse to make themselves feel good. And do you know what? That's up to them. But I'll be honest with you, I'm happy and content in my life. And people can throw me as much abuse as possible. Just come out with a very successful meeting which is going to look good for the next 6 months or so. You know, I got a lot of stuff going on in the pipeline. I got, you know, beautiful family. I'm happy. So whatever you throw at me is just going to bounce off, like because he's, you know, this fatness is like the Michelin Man. It's to help bounce off all that crap that gets thrown at me. I don't care anymore. I will do what makes me happy, and I do that for my teams. And there's certain rules, you know, we have so many rules in life, and there's certain rules that are good. Like, I believe in a good standard of uniform and a good standard of what you wear, and your appearance is everything. What I don't like, you know, but the rules of, you know, who you can and cannot talk to in your life and stuff like that, we can and can't do, that's up to you. My employees, my team know that I will back them 100% as long as they give me solutions and not all problems. If they can't solve a problem, we solve it together. If they give me all solutions, brilliant. But we take things forward, we move things forward, and that's the way it works. So next week, we've got Luke Brown from... So 2 things Luke does. He does a mental health charity, which is Toots, Talking Outside the Scrum, which helps men with mental health, which is great. But he's also very into his sport. So we're going to have a very open discussion and a very debatable discussion about who the best footballers, rugby players, and are in sport, something a bit different for you. And he's going to talk about how he left school. He's only 24 now, I think. But how he left school and how he tried to make his life his career path, and how he's affected his mental health as well, which will be good. And then the following week, we've got a very close friend of mine. I'm hoping he's going to finalise the details. CJ Hotan is on the podcast. He's a very well-known Elvis tribute, but again, going through a lot of trials and tribulations, and come out the end positive and ready to go. So he'll be another great guy to have on. And then the following week after that, Hoodie D-Spell should be on, and then from me swimming, and we got just more and more coming, and then I'll do some of these bites as well. But look, thank you very much for listening today. If you want to follow us, we're on the Man Up Podcast. That's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. YouTube channel, if you've seen it on there, it's Man Up Podcast. And then look, if you have anything else that you wanna bring to me, just have a conversation. Let's go about it. Because I want to make sure that you guys know. Look, I get that it's not always easy and things happen. What I will say to you is, I don't do these things for people to listen to me. I don't profess to know everything. I don't do these things to give advice. I do this stuff to get things out of my head. So stuff through my head, scare it out of there. And if it helps somebody on the way, great. And if you guys, a couple of questions I've had is, one is, why can I never stick to doing them weekly? I'm sorry, I am really trying. Do you know what, actually, scrap that. I'm sorry, I'm not trying hard enough. If I really wanted to squeeze in, I probably could. It just gets pushed when I'm really busy, and I'm sorry for that. Going forward, you will have one religiously every week, whether it's me with a guest. Okay, I promise you that. And the other one was, would I give any advice to someone starting a business? Now, I do business coaching because I've got a few and I've been quite successful. My advice to be, if you're going to start a business, is just do it. I'm not saying quit your job and live off bread. That's not what I'm saying. But if you've got an idea that you think's worth taking and it's a great business idea, bloody do it. Because I tell you why, if you don't do it, you will regret it. Get rid of the fear, go for it. Do it around your existing job for now. Just know that starting a business is bloody hard, right? It's very hard. It's long hours. It's 18-hour days. It's time away from your family. It's time away from your kids. It's sacrificing your nights out. It's sacrificing your time in front of the TV. It's very hard. But if you do it right and you put enough passion and energy into it and you are successful, and only you will determine successful. I don't believe that businesses are unsuccessful because of the economy. I don't believe that businesses are unsuccessful because of other people. If businesses fail, like without it being your choice, it's because you haven't worked hard enough and you haven't tried hard enough. So look, have a great week. Like us, subscribe, and I will catch you all soon.